Hello friends, I am Dr. Gurneet Singh Sahani. I am an MS MCH Neuro and Spine Surgeon. After attaining the first position in my neurosurgery university examination, I joined as an assistant professor in St. John's Institute of Health Sciences in Bangalore. Following which, working there for a few years, I got the opportunity to work in rural India, where I was able to deal with local population and know the neurosurgical problems and the grievances that people have there. For whatever work I could do, I got an award as the most promising neurosurgeon. That was in 2016. Following which, I presently am working as a consultant neurosurgeon in Fortis Hospital, Mumbai. Today, I am going to talk about recent advances in neurosurgery. Before talking about the recent advances, let us talk about some misconceptions or myths that we have in neurosurgery. One of the most common myth is that a patient who undergoes a tumor surgery or a brain surgery or a spine surgery does not come back to its normal life ever. They always have left with some permanent disability. Now today my video is to tell you about that this is untrue. Today the neurosurgery has gone to a particular state of art where the outcomes of the patients have become tremendously better. Now how does that happen? The first advancement that happened in neurosurgery is operating under high magnification under a microscope. Now this had started about a century ago, but the microscopes kept on improvising and the definitions kept on changing. Presently, the microscope is gone to a certain extent that we can see the flow of blood in a blood vessel in the brain, or we can also see the tumor in a different color so that we can remove the whole tumor in toto. One of the other recent advances is neuronavigation, which is used for us to reach at the tumor precisely and to remove the whole tumor or remove the whole disease completely with the help of this navigation. Along with that, other advances is intraoperative neuromonitoring, where the functionality of that part of the brain or the spine is continuously checked throughout our operation so that we can save it and not damage it. As you see, every small part of the brain is important. So we cannot afford to damage any single part of the brain. So these improvising things kept on happening. The other recent advancement is intraoperative ultrasound, in which during the surgery or after our tumor excision is over, we are able to see whether the whole tumor is removed or no. A similar and a much better way to do this is an intraoperative MRI, where after the surgery we take the patient into the MRI machine which is placed inside the operation theatre and check whether the whole tumor is removed or no. So these all methods are there for a complete and a total removal of the tumor, along with saving the normal brain structures and to preserve the functionality of the brain. This is the equipment part of the recent advances. The other recent advances which has happened is the technique of surgery, where our initial surgery of a craniotomy, where we used to remove a large part of the skull and do the surgery, or open the spine completely and do the surgery by fixing the screws, has changed to a smaller and a minimally invasive techniques. One of the techniques is an endoscopic transnasal surgery, which is used for pituitary tumors or craniopharyngiomas, which are present at the center part of the brain. These surgeries are done by using the nasal route and removal of the tumor with the help of an endoscope without having an incision on the skin. The other ways are doing keyhole surgeries, where the whole tumor or the disease is removed by a small keyhole. Such surgeries have come at the spine also, where during the minimally invasive spine techniques, we can just do small keyholes and treat the disease of the spine, and also do the fixations of the spine if we require. Now this has changed a lot in the patient. The post-operative debility that the patient had, the patient gets better soon, is out and mobile soon. It's all because of these minimally invasive techniques. Such recent advances have gone further by doing something called as awake craniotomies, where we don't take the patient under complete anesthesia or general anesthesia and operate the patient awake, in which we are able to check his functionality continuously throughout our procedure. Now this advancement has really made a better outcome on the patient. This advancement has really helped us to go a step ahead for patient care. Other chronic neurological diseases like epilepsy, Parkinson's disease, and so on has been treated now by specific procedure, what we call as deep brain stimulation. In this, we put small electrodes into specific areas of the brain and give stimulation, which allows us to control such chronic diseases and patient to have a normal life. These electrodes are connected to a battery which is placed inside the body like a pacemaker, and this has again showed that the outcome of such diseases and the patients can be very good. Moreover, neurosurgery has further advanced to subspecialties like vascular neurosurgery, which deals with aneurysms, AV malformation or large vascular diseases. Neuro-oncology, which deals with brain tumors. Endovascular neurosurgery, in which this is also a recent advancement, where these aneurysms or vascular malformations are treated endovascularly by doing an angiogram without having incision on the brain. Functional neurosurgery, which deals with epilepsy, which deals with Parkinsonism and other problems by doing such surgeries. Neurotrauma, where the cases of trauma are dealt with specific care. Spine surgeries and minimally invasive spine surgery, which particularly deals with spinal problems. So with all this holistic approach and specific advancement, we are able to deal with neurosurgery and give a much better outcome to the patient. Let me share one of an interesting case which I had and was treated with using these advances in neurosurgery. So this was an 11-year-old boy who had come with weakness on one side of the body. The weakness was noticed very suddenly by them. The child was playing and he fell down. We found that his right hand and leg was weak. So they came to me. When I noticed that this weakness was not a sudden onset but was gradually on for some time, because the size of the hand was smaller as compared to the other. This shows that the muscles had gone into atrophy. On doing an MRI scan, we found that this child had got a tumor which was involving the lower part of the brain, we call it as the medulla, and the upper part of the cervical spine. That is, so it was a cervicomedullary tumor. The risk of operating at such an area is very high. The chances of patient landing up into a long-term ventilator, losing his life and being completely paralyzed is very high. So he was denied surgery in many of the centers. Using these advanced techniques, we operated the patient under a high magnification with neuromonitoring and navigation, and we were able to remove the tumor completely. Post-operatively, we found that the patient improved to such an extent that he turned to be normal. Fortunately, this tumor was a benign tumor, and we were able to cure the patient out of the disease. Now, after 1 year of this operation, I am quite happy and satisfied looking that the patient has gone back to its normal and routine life which he was leading prior to this event. So you can see that the previous myth or the misconception that the patients after neurosurgery don't recover is quite untrue. In Fortis Hospital, we are able to provide you all the facilities and the newer advances for all neurosurgical and spine cases. Thank you.